All right, so we're thinking Michael Lewis, Moneyball. We're thinking Malcolm Gladwell. These guys are storytellers, and we're going to talk about persuasion today. So you accept a head coaching job at a crappy program. They don't have any kind of track record of success, no culture, no traditions, no community involvement, no spaghetti feed to raise a little bit of cash for the players. So how do you create positive momentum in such a toxic culture? And impactful leaders are clear and concise storytellers. Facts are good. You got to have some facts, but you got to be impactful, and that's through persuasion. And we got to work at becoming good storytellers. And impactful leaders are clear and concise storytellers. So think about the late Steve Jobs. When he came back to Apple, the company was basically a dumpster fire, low morale, infighting, and roughly 90 days from bankruptcy. And Steve Jobs came back after getting fired from his own company, and he communicated the why behind Apple's mission and led the company to become one of the most valued brands in history. And a really good example of Jobs' communication style, check out his pretty popular 2005 Stanford commencement speech on YouTube. And Jobs starts off and he says, "Today, I want to tell you 3 stories from my life. That's it. No big deal, just 3 stories." So Jobs knew the value of persuasion through storytelling. And kind of get that image of the campfire in your mind. Persuasive leaders, they are compelling storytellers. We're hardwired to really sit around the campfire and listen to stories. It's in our DNA. That's how we did things before the written word. Nobody likes a lecture. Nobody likes to get poked in the chest, but everybody likes a good story. Could be a ghost story. Could be an origin story. Could be a story that you're telling at a job interview for that head coaching job. So TED Talks, check it out. That's a great place to study persuasive storytelling. And the upside of these TED Talks is that the presenters only have about 18 to 20 minutes to tell a clear, concise, and compelling story. And they did a study on the TED Talk audience members. And the audience members routinely cite a few common themes for what makes a good story. So first, got to tell a story in the first 30 seconds, and that's going to drive home the theme of your upcoming talk. You want to connect that story to the message that's coming up. Second, effective stories are personal to the speaker, and it's one story. It's not 15 different stories that tell one theme. It's just one specific anecdote that we use. And then third, this one you'll see a lot with Malcolm Gladwell. Check out his TED Talk. He does, I don't know what the keyword you want to use on it, but it's something about talking about spaghetti sauce in New York when he goes into a store and there's a bunch of spaghetti sauce that he has to pick out one jar. So you'll find it on YouTube, but it's Malcolm Gladwell spaghetti sauce, and you'll find it. But what Malcolm Gladwell did, and what effective stories do, is they use a mix of narrative and dialogue and kind of short, specific details that are multisensory, like visual, auditory, touch, and smell, hence Malcolm Gladwell and the spaghetti sauce. So we've briefly covered 3 of the key kind of communication skills that you're going to need on the coaching journey. If you're coaching high school sports or business coach, these are the 3 things that we got to be able to do pretty well and got to work on them. It's negotiations, it's conflict resolution, and then lastly, persuasion. 3 books that you might want to check out on your coaching journey. Kind of the old classic is Getting to Yes, Negotiating Agreement Without Giving In, and that's by Roger Fisher and William Ury. The second one is Persuasion and Storytelling, Talk Like TED, from Carmen Gallo, Gallo. And then one that you really want to look at too, which is kind of the opposing view to Getting the Yes, and sort of that rational thought of kind of getting emotion out of the way, separating the message from the messenger, which is kind of the William Ury way with Getting the Yes. So the contrast of that is going to be Chris Voss, and I believe his book is called never split the difference. And Voss was an FBI hostage and negotiator, and his thought was bullshit. You got to work on the emotions first before you get to the rational thought. So it's kind of a good contrast that you might want to check out. So hopefully that helps out. We have talked about negotiations, we've talked about conflict, and we've talked about persuasions. And see you later.